Ryan's either going to have to take that out of Conor's hands by knocking him unconscious, or he's going to have to show that he has dog in him, that Conor Benn is calling out, saying you don't have that in him. He's going to have to show at some point that, no, I got that.
I am told, and you don't hear this a lot really, I'm told that he is training for the knockout. He knows that Ryan Garcia has been stopped before, happened against Gervonta Davis. He got dropped against Rolly Romero. Conor Benn wants the knockout. He's shown that he has big power at 47. This is going to be his first fight at the weight in, I believe, 4.5 years or so.
I think this is the way he can win the fight, is by knockout. I don't think he can win the fight on points with Ryan. So it's smart if that's what he's aiming for, but it's going to be really tough. Him coming down from 60 to 147.
That's scary.
I mean, you might lose that power. You know, that's what happens most of the time when Roy Jones, perfect example. Heavyweight champion of the world, went back down to 75 and he lost that pop.
One man's power against another man's pressure. Max Kellerman just laid out the exact scenario that could end this fight early, and it isn't the one most fans are expecting.
So many close fights because Ryan is good.
Yeah.
I got Conor winning. I think when you put Ryan in some fights with dogs, I don't think Rolly's that good of a fighter. I think Rolly's a dog, though. Right? You put him in and retain another talented, athletic dog, right? You see how that ended.
Max Kellerman has analyzed countless pressure fighters and understands how aggression can become dangerous against elite punchers. He argues that Ryan's power could punish him before his pressure has a chance to work. A fighter coming down in weight may look physically strong while still carrying hidden vulnerability.
Ryan can box, or if Conor, especially if he's weight trained, is training for a knockout, like Gabe says, and he's coming in on him, because Conor's a dog, he is. But sometimes, like Joe Frazier was a dog. George Foreman hits so hard that on the way in, it doesn't matter how much dog you have in you, you get lifted off the canvas, right? And Ryan has that kind of power.
Building on that same warning, Shady emphasizes that Ryan Garcia had already experienced being stopped, while Benn represented a different type of physical and mental challenge. His point is that Ryan would need to demonstrate he could withstand the relentless pressure Benn was promising to bring.
He emphasized that on the interview, like, look, listen, you are great, you are but I watch you stop. I watched another fighter make you stop. And then when you think about that, I'm like, damn. That makes a good point.
Shifting the focus toward Benn's own power at this specific weight, Mike points to Benn's history as a puncher and argues that welterweight is where his power has looked most convincing. He also acknowledges that Benn's previous performance at 150 was underwhelming, but expects him to look considerably better this time.
Chris Algieri, Chris Van Heerden.
He came up as a puncher.
He came up as a puncher, and then he goes and has two big money fights with Chris Eubank, sells out Tottenham Stadium twice last year, and then he fights at Tottenham again in April at 150, but he only had 6 weeks to make the 150 to not look good against Regis Prograis. I think he's gonna look better this time.
Offering a specific game plan for Garcia, Jeff Mayweather warns Ryan Garcia must stay disciplined against Conor Benn, stressing that Ryan needs to control the fight from range rather than get dragged into dangerous exchanges. He views distance as the key to preventing Benn from turning his power and pressure into a decisive advantage.
It's one of those fights where Ryan's going to have to box smart, and he's going to have to do the exact same thing. He's going to have to fight from long range and not allow Conor Benn to get him in the corners or get in the exchanges.
Speaking directly on the physical toll a weight cut can take, Ryan Garcia, who has already experienced the physical demands of competing at elite levels, argues that Benn's punishing weight cut could force his body to betray him. The process could sap Benn's energy, weaken his durability, and reduce his ability to maintain a high pace. The danger is that excessive strain may drain the very attributes Benn needs most.
Doing too much, you get down, your body not meant to be at 147. My God, look how big you are. You're big, papa. You put too much weight. And historically, I'm telling you, Conor, historically, time has always said, when a fighter goes up, then comes down, he's never the same. Roy Jones Jr., you know, once you make the decision to move up, you stay up. Because now you already tasted the greener side of life, and your body's like, yes, I don't have to do that no more.
Building on that same physical concern, Garcia, who has watched fighters discover the advantages of competing at a bigger weight, insists that the body may resist being forced backward. A difficult cut could drain Benn's energy and reduce his physical effectiveness when the fight gets demanding. That concern could become especially important if Benn loses strength or endurance during the process.
But now you're deciding to do it again, and this time, last time was 150, and you looked like you were dead. Now you gotta go another 3? Ooh. I wouldn't want to be you.
Balancing that same warning with respect for Garcia's own power, Jeff highlights the physical danger of Conor Benn while acknowledging that Ryan Garcia also carried serious punching power. Benn's size and physicality could make his punches especially damaging at close range, while Garcia's speed could create openings before Benn could respond. That contrast made every exchange potentially fight-changing.
Because Ryan can really punch too. But I think that Conor is just the bigger fighter. And so I think the effect of his punches may be a little different.
Raising a deeper concern about Benn's weight history, Jeff points to the risks of Conor Benn returning to welterweight after competing at much heavier weights. The demanding cut could affect his stamina and physical strength, especially as the fight progresses. That concern becomes even more significant against Garcia's speed and explosive offense, making Benn's conditioning a crucial factor.
That can be that could be something that could really backfire on him. Kind of like it did back when Roy Jones went from heavyweight, came back down, and was never the same fighter ever again. And it could happen to Conor too.
Backing that same theory with first-hand professional insight, Mike Coppinger has closely followed Conor Benn's career and watched his development across multiple weight classes. He emphasizes that Benn brings genuine power and unusual physical strength into the matchup. That threat means Ryan cannot simply hunt for his signature left hook without respecting what comes back.
He did it once before earlier this year. Now he has a lot more time to do it. And don't forget, right, Tim? He was a massive puncher at 147 years ago. I think about the fights against Chris Algieri, Chris Van Heerden. I'm not saying those guys are killers, but those were big knockouts.
Shifting the conversation toward how Garcia might exploit that exact weakness, Antonio Tarver had seen knockout artists change fights with one explosive moment. He believed Garcia deserved favorite status because his speed and punching power could erase mistakes instantly. He also pointed to Benn's history of taking damage as a potential concern. For Garcia, this wasn't just about winning, it was about proving his power remained the ultimate equalizer.
Correct? Yeah, I mean, power. You gotta always favor a guy with speed and power. Okay. You know, a lot of times he don't use his speed, but he definitely uses power. He's a puncher. So, and we've seen Ben get busted up a little bit. So, pick him fight.
Reinforcing that same case with a broader breakdown of Garcia's edge, Tim Bradley has fought at the highest level and knows how quickly one elite weapon can dictate an entire matchup. He warns that Benn first has to navigate Ryan's lethal left hook before his pressure game can take over. Garcia's evolving right hand adds another layer that makes the danger harder to predict.
I feel like Benn has a chance because he has a right hand, good right hand, a strong right hand. I think the pressure that he puts on
he has an engine.
Well, yeah, he keeps going, and you see the will that he has.
Conor's mental is strong. Yeah,
he's mentally strong. However, look, if he gets past that left hook, he got to get past that left hook, man. And one more thing. In his last fight, in Garcia's last fight, that right hand that he was throwing, okay, very effective.
Nice,
in that fight. Yeah, you can see him starting to add new things to his repertoire.
But
more than just a left hook. That's going to be a punch. I believe that's going to be a definitive punch in this fight again.
Offering a former champion's read on just how dangerous Garcia can be, Teofimo Lopez, who has competed at the elite level, argues that Garcia could be nearly impossible to beat if he reproduces his previous performance. Garcia's speed, timing, and explosiveness could make it difficult for Benn to control the exchanges or find a consistent opening. That confidence puts enormous pressure on Benn to produce something special.
That's up in the air, man. I would like to see Conor Benn actually put on a good showing and good fight for Ryan and actually give him some challenges there. You know, obviously Conor Benn didn't look as exciting and as great against an experienced fighter like Regis Prograis. You know, definitely gave him something to fight and earn for in that fight. But and then you see Ryan, he swept the floor on Barrios. So if we see the same Ryan that we saw in Barrios, I think he's unbeatable right now. So, you know, it should be a great fight though overall. People should definitely tune in.
Tempering that same confidence with a nod toward Benn's own upset potential, Teofimo credits Benn's relentless commitment with the ability to produce a major upset. His pressure and willingness to keep pushing could disrupt Garcia's rhythm and force him into uncomfortable exchanges. If Garcia gets drawn into that kind of battle, Benn could capitalize on the opening and change the entire fight.
Those things show the determination and what it means to Conor Benn. You know, when he didn't look so great against Ubik the first time, he came back with vengeance the second time. So definitely, Conor Benn is no pushover, man. I feel, look, I said it before, I think Conor Benn might pull the upset. We just have to wait and see, man.
Adding a technical caveat to that same upset scenario, Teofimo points out that Benn's technical limitations could matter if his training remains too compressed. If Benn cannot correct those weaknesses in time, Garcia could exploit his predictable positioning and capitalize with fast counters. That could become a major factor if the fight turns into a high-speed exchange.
Technicality part, yeah, possibly. Yeah, he's not as technically sounded like the rest of us, but the man has heart, the man has grit, and all you need in boxing is that really to overcome those things and push forward, right? The only thing I would credit, I would critique a little bit is the way that they're training for the Ryan Garcia fight. It's too enclosed.
Zooming out to the bigger picture surrounding this fight, Gareth Davies, who has closely followed Conor Benn's rise and the controversy surrounding his recent career moves, believes Benn's growing villainous image has made the matchup even more compelling, while Garcia remains the clear favorite. The real question is whether Benn can withstand Garcia's power and bring enough danger of his own.
Conor's become this kind of villainous figure in in the promotional stakes with these interviews that Keith Connolly's been doing in the last couple of weeks, and what Eddie's said and what Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith have said about they won't deal with Conor again, they won't deal with Connolly again. I'm probably more interested in that, to see whether Benn can withstand the Garcia power and whether he can put anything on Garcia. I still see Garcia as a big favourite in that fight.
Building on that same broader assessment, Gareth Davies argues that Benn must look significantly sharper because Garcia appears healthy, confident, and dangerous again. Garcia's speed and explosiveness make any defensive mistake potentially costly, while Benn would need to maintain discipline under pressure. With both men carrying huge personalities, the build-up could become almost as explosive as the fight itself. For Benn, this isn't just another comeback test. It's a demand to show he can handle elite-level danger.
Look, I just think what we have to get in that fight is Conor Benn looking better than he did in his last performance, a lot better, because Ryan Garcia is happy again, healthy again, and looking very dangerous. There's going to be fireworks in the build-up from both men. They've both got great presence. They're both box office stars. Whatever anyone says about Conor Benn, and I'll say it again, he may end up with 50 million in the bank, never having won a title. It's as simple as that.
Closing out the breakdown with a specific prediction about how the fight actually unfolds, Ade Oladipo argues that Conor Benn was unlikely to rely on pure boxing against Ryan Garcia. He expected Benn to pressure Garcia aggressively, force him into exchanges, and make the fight physical from the opening stages. With both men carrying serious power, that approach could have created openings for a dramatic finish.
I said this yesterday on my own YouTube channel. I said that Conor Benn will try and take Ryan's head off. He's not going to try and box him. He's going to try and fight him. And that could mean an exciting sort of outcome for fight fans. I think he's going to give all he can, and we'll see how this plays out.
Power against pressure, a weight cut that could decide everything. Does Garcia's speed and precision put this fight away early, or does Benn's relentless aggression finally deliver the knockout everyone's asking about? Drop your prediction in the comments, and stay tuned until next time.